This is Monopoly Madness, a spin-off standalone experience based on the property of Monopoly. We're here on Xbox Series X getting a 4K resolution, 60 FPS, and it does support cross-gen multiplayer, and you can play locally or online with up to 6 players. Pretty cool. There's also single-player action, but it should be noted that there are some variations to how you play. So there's like a story, quote-unquote, mode. Not really a story mode, it's just a bunch of different, like, kind of, these quick play competitive type matches thrown together, with a little bit of Monopoly guy kind of being like, hey, stuff like that. Anyways, the core of this is playing either the kind of quick play free-for-all or the teams mode. Now, if you're playing the free-for-all, you can have regular players, you can have bots included, but if you're playing teams, you have to have real players. I could not find a way to add bots in that mode. So if you want to do team-based competitions, you have to have all real players. Now you can go, online and play it if you'd like. That's kind of cool. But of course, just playing some local stuff with some real players, mixing with some AI, it was quite a lot of fun, and that's kind of the gameplay you're seeing here. And it was actually kind of a neat experience where you are kind of reinforcing the core concept of, hey, building Monopoly, but with a more frantic, fast-paced action. So you get lots of different choices for changing up basically how the games go, how long the games are, how fast things appear, how much money you have. Then you go in and you compete and you try to get, well, the most, right? There are different bonuses for being like, hey, you used the most electricity, or hey, you used the most water points, or hey, you did, bought the most things or demolished the most things. Those are little ribbons and or like badges you get at the end of the match. And those, in general, everything kind of impacts your overall score to see who won. There's not a board, it's more like you're roaming different streets based kind of on Monopoly properties, but with more of a fun, whimsical style to it. So what you're doing is you're competing, again, up to 6 players, trying to frantically buy properties that slowly become available, and then you're using things such as power-ups to kind of disrupt those. You might get like a UFO to abduct someone's area, or maybe send someone to jail, or maybe demolish a property or jackhammer a property, and you do all these things. And then there's also, on the flip side, you're trying to improve your properties. So you go and you suck up, it's basically a little bit like Ghostbusters. You got like a suck up cannon where you suck up power-ups and you suck up things such as water and electricity. So you take the water and the electricity, and then you're able to upgrade your properties, which isn't necessarily the most worthwhile plan, because someone else can come in, put your property up for sale, or they could destroy it. And you really have to balance what you're doing with the fast-paced action in order to get the best sort of value out of the properties, and you want the most because it's Monopoly. There are a wide range of different levels, and you kind of unlock more as you play, but it's not too like, oh no, there's no content available. You get a lot right off the bat, and then you just play a little bit more, and more will become available to you. So that's fine. There really are just like a ton of unique play spaces. I think they did a really good job with that one, offering just a wide range of different areas that you can sort of go to. There's like some areas that are more city-like, there's ones that are more of a fall tone. It's kind of cool, and again, very varied. Very varied indeed. So lots of different things you can kind of go and do and battle on. The core gameplay loop is very simplistic. I mean, it's not necessarily anything too complex, but it is frantic, it is fast, it's actually quite fun. I did at times feel a little overwhelmed because there was so much going on. You can't even really almost focus on what you're doing because you're constantly getting distracted by all these things and these other players and this competition and what you're doing. It was, again, very, very frantic and just all over the place. But at the same time, again, quite fun, and I think if you get a group of people together, like it's a bit of a family type scenario, it can be quite enjoyable. If you're looking for regular Monopoly, that's not here. This isn't regular Monopoly. This is Monopoly Madness. I know, it's absolutely insane. Seriously, just so fast. So quick. I don't even know if that shows up here when we're playing, but it is, it's super, super quick. It really is. I was just like, whoa, that is wild, and I had a good time playing through it. But again, the core concept is very simplistic, and I do find, like, I even found myself getting quite tired. Like, not as in, like, oh, tired of playing, but as in, wow, there's so much going on, I feel overloaded by everything that's happening, and that kind of being a little bit exhausting. But you can tone down how many players are present, you can change different settings to slow it down a bit, that helps. So yeah, quite a lot that you can actually do. There's 20 playable characters. Some of them are available to unlock. There is also Ubisoft Connect, so you get like, there's fancy hats. Not all of them through the Connect. There's like 3 that were through Ubisoft Connect, which is a separate app thing. But anyways, you unlock different hats, and you can get the different characters. So there's a wide range of options. There's a pretty easygoing tutorial to teach you how to play, and I think it kind of gets the job done for what it provides. Now again, this isn't insanely complex. This isn't like a replacement for Monopoly. It's just taking the Monopoly brand and applying it to this different kind of game concept. Buying properties, taking properties, stealing properties, building new things, upgrading properties. It's colorful, it's fun, it's got some vibrant visuals, easygoing music, and it just keeps the action going and going and going. Again, something I think is pretty easygoing for all audience types, so that's kind of exciting. But yeah, just don't necessarily expect anything insanely complex or deep. This is something you play, every once in a while, have a fun time with. I definitely think it is quite enjoyable. Just, it's kind of limited in terms of how far you could take the concept. I mean, there is multiplayer online, which is kind of cool, but how long will it survive? It's hard to say. I don't see that it's got cross-gen support, or cross-play support. It does have cross-gen. You can definitely play with, old Xbox players, but it doesn't have crossplay, which I think is, at least any crossplay that I saw. So I think that might be limiting for long-term value, but if you want to play it locally, want to play it with the AI, that's really cool. I do wish that the teams had co-op or AI support, instead of just being like, hey, you have to field full teams, because that would have been a lot easier to play it. But yeah, I think that about summarizes what the whole experience is like. There's just going to be more gameplay, so you can see in action if you are interested in that. But I don't really have any other details. You go in, you try to build a Monopoly, just like the core concept of the regular game Monopoly, but this one is a bit more intense madness. What? So good luck out there. Upgrade, build, destroy, take, run around the map, and hopefully try to build the best area you can in this insane, frantic multiplayer party game.
Property for sale. End of house sold. Property sold. House auction starting. House auction starting. Coming next. Yeah. Happy birthday. End of house auction. Auction starting. House auction starting. End of auction. End of house auction. House auction starting. Happy hour. All upgrades are free. End of auction. House auction starting. Auction completed. Next. Don't wait until the well runs dry to know the worth of water. House auction starting. End of auction. House auction starting. Victory is close at hand. End of auction. Watch out! Power up roulette. More of the same for everyone. House auction starting. End of auction. Auction starting. Auction starting. Auction completed. Auction completed. Attention! Wow, look at all these birds. It's just like a movie. Auction starting. Auction starting. End of house auction. Auction starting. End of house auction. End of auction. Auction starting. House auction starting. Auction starting. Oh dear, what's next? All properties are swapped. End of house auction. Auction starting. End of auction. House auction starting. Auction starting. Auction complete. Oh, look!